After that, we will have some comments from the candidates here, followed by question and answer, and then we will have candidates for the treasurer's office, followed by questions and answers. Okay, so I think we will start now with Officer White.
Hello, everybody. I want to start with saying good job taking whoever called about I mentioned a gentleman, Vinny, and we'll just call him Joe. Everyone knows what I said last time. Well, Vinny was arrested after citizens called in for the speech activity. He already had warrants for possession of Bulgaria's tools. He was arrested with Bulgaria's tools, and it was in relation to a large murder. So one of the two older gentlemen in the community that is committing a large number of our property crime was arrested because of heads-up calling from someone that saw some photos out. So good job for the day. Good job you guys for being here. Keep that stuff up. I appreciate it. I'm sure I know my bosses do. The other thing is we still have an issue with larceny from auto at night. That's nothing new. I've been coming in as I was telling you before we started. Right now we don't have any funding to put any details in place. We don't have an OU detail right now, and we don't have a larceny detail. So it is just the officers in control doing that, as our bike team has been placed other places that have issues with narcotics. That's what they're doing right now. That's going to beat out larceny from auto, but so please be vigilant, stay vigilant, lock your car doors, remove property from your car. That easy. If you have a neighbor, just tell them. If you see somebody and you know it's their car, just let them know, hey, take things out of your car. We put flyers up that hasn't worked. I posted some next door. That hasn't worked. But that's the biggest thing. If there's nothing in the cars, eventually they'll realize it's not worth coming out here every night between midnight and 5 a.m. and just checking the car names. So if we do that, that would be great. The only thing I can say on top of that is I am petitioning to get the CROs and some officers trained in just basic fingerprinting to assist, because I will say this is a big issue on Nextdoor. We don't fingerprint for car larcenies. For instance, unit doesn't have the time to come out and do that. We did it years ago for patrol. I did ask to do it again. I'm still waiting to get some feedback. So again, these are just things we're trying to do. So work with you guys to help combat this issue, or at least identify who's doing it. Aside from that, not really anything else to report. Like I said, with the stolen autos, we have a number of, again, related to car larcenies. That goes with keys, keep your keys inside. Does anybody have anything for me? Anything they'd like me to go into more detail about, or anything I didn't bring up that they want to talk about? Yes.
Just appreciate the presence on the grant. We hear the sirens going off, which means another fine has been levied.
I think the association, not enough sirens. But no, thank you for that. Like I said, I've got to get with Ted Warren who runs that. It's the biggest complaint. I'm sure everybody that lives on Riverview also has that complaint. So, this is the speeding. Yes, ma'am?
Officer White, my name is Marion Lee, 3821 Beach Avenue. For those who don't know me at this meeting, I would like to thank you very much for your help at LAF 1, where the sign is now, the end of Lavalette Avenue, with the ongoing fishing and crabbing issues on the new floating dock. It has been greatly appreciated. However, we still need help. These issues were not mentioned in the meetings of the last meeting here in the minutes, and I would like to address that to the secretary. I did see online that there has been mention in Colonial place of the fishing and crabbing boating rights online, but I did not, excuse me, bring a copy of that with me. But I would like to thank you very much for your input and your help there, and I hope that it will continue.
Oh, like I told you, all we do is try. It has gotten a bit better, and we'll keep working on it. Did we got any little fishing in Colonial Place? No vote yet. All right, so we're all aware on that. The signs are up. We're not doing anything about it. So no one enjoys that response, but I have been told numerous times to leave it alone by many people above me and in the community. So I can't touch it, but thank you.
I thank you for your input and your help, and I hope we have ongoing police presence there because it is definitely needed.
Okay.
And I thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll keep working on it. Does anyone have anything else for me?
All right, thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Our next speaker is civil engineer from the city of Malta, Mr. C.W. Gaskell, and he will be talking to us about the upcoming work on the shoreline there at Beach Avenue.
Good evening, everybody. I did bring some handouts for everybody to go along to share. Raise your hand if you don't have access to one at your table anywhere to share with somebody. I didn't bring enough for everyone, but at least some people can share with along. My good worker, Justin Shaker, I think that's come through the meetings before to give everybody updates on how the Beach Avenue Shoreline project is going along. If this is the first time you've ever heard of the project, can you raise your hand? First time you've heard of it? Fantastic, everybody's aware, good deal. Well, I'm just going to do kind of a brief update of what's going on, kind of a printout, and we'll kind of breeze over it. You've probably seen this before in the presentation. The Liberty Shoreline project at Beach Avenue is part of a river-wide, Lafayette River-wide shoreline projects grant that we're working on throughout the Lafayette River. This is just one of the locations on Lafayette River that we're doing the shoreline restoration on. And I have to say now that the project has been finished with design. We have gone through the permitting process with the state, the local wetland board, and we have all the permits in process and all permits now. We have them all, and we're able to then have the job, have bid out the job already, and we have a winning bidder, lowest bidder, and we also have planned on having construction start in mid-October along the Beach Avenue project. You can say that along the Beach Avenue itself, there may be temporary road closures during the day on one side of the street, so the equipment can move around along Beach Avenue, but we will not close it off to the access for anybody to drive around. But just that shoreline side will be temporarily closed at locations as we move along the Beach Avenue project itself. We expect the project to take probably about 7 months, so if we start around mid-October, it'll be finished up by mid-May is what we're looking for a time frame for the project. And as for, I think a few people asked about maybe some like a community road and access. We do have changes in designs where we have a non-vegetated path where people can get down to the creek. Just one or two areas, and we have an area where we can use canoe path to get over there to the creek side, but the rest will be a vegetated rocky shoreline front. We do also have an area at the end of Ethel Avenue where we can try to increase drainage after storm events through the shoreline as well. So we have areas where it has some water backing up after rain events because of the way the shoreline is developed. So now we have actually a clear, like kind of a low channel there, so the flow can get out the creek once waters get back down. So again, the project is about to start about mid-October is when it start up. It's supposed to go through mid-May. We'll have some temporary road closures during the day, but the project will only be working Monday through Friday, Saturday if time currency or Saturdays, and just during the daylight hours from 7 to 7 o'clock. Of course, during the time, probably most like 7 to 5 o'clock those hours. So that's one thing for the project. If anyone has any questions, I'd love to hear that to answer. If you have any questions? Yes, sir.
How much does it cost?
The cost of the project, it was bid at, I think it was 600,000 was our rough estimate that we were for our bid winner. That was the lowest bid. The higher bid was 780,000. So definitely got significant savings for our lowest bid. This was a rebid project. The original bid was 1.2 million. We didn't accept that price. It was a single bidder. So we went back, did some engineering, some value engineering, to make some changes to the project. That's where we thought we could get a better price, and also we did. Yes, Ms. Lee.
Mr. Gastill, Marion Lee, you've come and visited me at my property
Yes, ma'am.
at the end of Bethel Avenue where I flood even when there's a brief storm. I cannot exit my property, and it seems like you have addressed this in your design work, are the pictures of the design in your hand?
No, yeah, this is just a brief overview, but if you take a look at design, I can get with you on an individual basis and we can talk about that.
I would appreciate that very much, and as you were sitting right here, I believe.
Yeah.
And is Mr. Schaefer still with you?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. That's
Okay, I would appreciate your input after the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any questions? Or? Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to have the sheriff candidates speak. Up first is Joe Barry. And we're going to hold questions. We're going to hold questions for the sheriff until after they both speak.
Each of you have 5 minutes. I'll give you a warning. 30 seconds.
Stay here so that you stay here.
Right? I won the coin card. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll get started. Okay, good evening. My name is Joe Barron, and I'm your sheriff here in the city of Norfolk. I got some notes. I can stay on target for 5 minutes to talk. I want to thank the Colonial Place and Riverview Civic Leagues for hosting this event and allowing the candidates to come and talk to you. And I appreciate all of you for being here to listen to those who wish to seek office here in Norfolk. You have some handouts from me. I encourage you to read them and learn a little bit more about me. But it also has my website, joebarronforsheriff.com. You can go there and learn even more about my background and what the issues are that are important to me. I'd like to start out by talking about the Norfolk Sheriff's Office as an organization that I intend to continue leading with your vote in November. The Norfolk Sheriff's Office has a budget of $42 million, has nearly 500 employees and 1,100 inmates that we have to take care of and manage on a daily basis, 365 days a year. We also do civil process service, which is serving court papers, and we provide court security. Those are the things that we're doing as an organization. Those are the things that I'm in charge of right now and have been running those operations now for about the last year and a half. In November, you will choose who will lead the Norfolk Sheriff's Office and who will take care of it. I suggest to you that there is not a need to change the current leadership, and I'll tell you why. First, I have the experience. I have 32 years of law enforcement experience, 26 years with the Norfolk Police Department here, and the last 6 years with the Norfolk Sheriff's Office. I'm also a veteran from the United States Navy. I have served in I know law enforcement. I know what we're supposed to do. I know investigations. I know how to organize. And I know how to manage people and a budget. Second, I have the educational background, and I stay current. I'm the only candidate that is currently a DCJS certified law enforcement officer, and I have a bachelor's degree in criminology and master's degree in public administration, and I teach criminology classes at Tidewater Community College. So anybody in here that's a teacher, you know, when you teach, you also learn, because you have to stay up on what you're teaching so that your students don't get ahead of you and you look foolish in the classroom. Third, I am value-driven, and I expect our organization to be value-driven. We serve as a team with integrity, respect, pride, and we do so without prejudice. That's my expectation, and it's non-negotiable for me. Finally, we're doing it right. We pass our annual inspections every year that the Department of Correction comes down, they do an inspection on the Sheriff's Office, and they go around, they'll ask people questions. We pass those inspections every single year. We pass our annual audits every year. In fact, I asked for an audit to be done early in February. We got the results back for the Sheriff's Office last week, and we have a clean bill of health as far as our county is concerned, which is good news. Further, I encourage you to talk to people who know me. Talk to Andrew McClellan. She's endorsed me. Talk to Mayor Kenny Alexander. He's also endorsed me. Talk to your friends that may know me. There's some that are in this room. Talk to police officers that work with me. Talk to sheriff's deputies if you know them. They will all tell you that I'm doing the job the right way, and I'm doing it the way it needs to continue to be done. So, in November, I'm asking you now, I ask for your vote. Please vote Joe Barron for sheriff November 7th. Thank you very much. I'm not going to take up the time of you guys. I think I've said what I need to say. Please go to my website, Joe Barron for sheriff. Also on the handout is my personal cell phone number. If you have questions or concerns, or you hear something that you think is negative, I can tell you we are doing things the way we're supposed to be doing it. I have also the endorsements of Senator Linwood Lewis, Lionel Sproul. The Attorney General, Mark Marion, has endorsed my candidacy because we work in partnership. Okay? Now I'm done? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hello, people. I'm Reggie Spoon. I was born and raised in Norfolk. I'm 50 years old. Born in Berkeley. Currently living in Campbell area. Went to Lake Taylor High School. I was fortunate enough there so I could get a sports scholarship. I went on to Appalachian State. That's how I got involved with Norfolk Sheriff's Office doing my internship back in the 80s. I worked years with Mike right here, you know who is this right-hand man. But I have over 2 decades in Norfolk Sheriff's Office. I transitioned the fugitive squad, transitioned the criminal apprehension unit, and also transitioned bullying. I also wrote the SOP and standards for these operations. Very skilled. I'm currently a bill bondsman on my own business. Successful, do well. I can manage the budget. Most city operations, they already have people intact. They have specialists, which are accountants, lawyers, and different things. To really run this program, you just have to manage them and ensure that it's right. Me personally won't be doing the actual math and the accounting. We will have a specialist for that, but I'm well capable of running the company, continuing to have it going very well. I like to mention something to my campaign manager, told me to keep it out, and I'm glad for him. If I lose, I'm going to lose with God, and I'm going to follow that through. I'm a family man. I have 3 children. My oldest son, he's a teacher. Went to Norfolk Public School, Riverview High School. My daughter, she went to Norfolk Public School. She graduated from Lake Taylor. She's at Virginia Union. She's a sophomore. And my son currently plays for Lake Taylor. He's going to be a fantastic football player. push my values over to my children, and I really believe in honesty, integrity, and commitment. And that's what you're going to get from me. You're going to get a candidate that has no ties to nothing, honest, and will start this sheriff's office with a new program. And I will be very transparent. I'm going to also start a citizens involvement program. I'm going to come out to these civic leagues. We're going to meet. We're going to let people know what's going on and get the city back straight. The city is currently under scrutiny, and I'm not talking about the sheriff's office, I'm talking about the whole city. We got to get the city educated. The reason that also why he was talking about Cargill securing signs on is that we have major problems going on in this city, and such as the tunnel that's causing PCO tags and stuff that's counting out compared to like opioid, addiction, overdosing. I don't know whose family or whatever is involved, but most people know someone, family or friends, that's indirectly involved with this poison in our city. And then my job would also be to educate my deputies so we could influence on the city and help fight this as a city problem. And then you can check on my paper. You can check on the school sheriff website. I'm going to get better at this as I go. I'm not a candidate. This is my first open forum. Well, I'm not going to say against Joe because he's a great guy. I am not against Joe. I'm for Reggie. And I'm for the betterment of the city of Norfolk. And once you get to know me, you're going to really get to know a great guy, a great candidate, and a great future for the city of Norfolk. Reggie Sproul for Sheriff November 2nd. Thank you.
Just addressing your literature here. What is your first name? I missed that.
Oh, Reggie Sproul. When I first did that pamphlet, I've been doing this campaign on my own. I wasn't fortunate to like receive a party nomination. I am an independent candidate. I'm running on my own. I'm doing this on my own.
So R-E-G-G-I-E.
R-E-G-G-I-E. Reggie Sproul.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. On the ballot is going to be R.L. Reggie Sproul. Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to open the floor to questions. Director questions one for both candidates. Please first. Yes, ma'am.
I just need some clarity because I'm a school teacher, so we always ask for clarity. On your sheet, Mrs. Sproul, what do you mean no elderly nor child-based programs will be negatively affected, only improved?
Once I take over the sheriff's office, all programs should and need to be looked over, investigated, checked out. So anything that's currently positive, because I can say one thing about, although this is not about him, I can say one thing about Sheriff Case. He put a lot of great programs in motion for the sheriff's office. That's currently going. And the great programs that he put in, I'm going to also continue the Sheriff Case programs that we have going on. But if it has any negative effect, and pretty much anything that's going on, I would have to address it at that time. But anything that's positive for the children and the elderly, we will only improve on it, at minimum keep it going at the level that it's at.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about the work release program.
You want me?
Is that, yeah, is that, well, either of you. It's on your sheet, but I'm sure it's on your list too.
Yes. We have the largest work release program in this state. And I'm proud of that because it's an opportunity for inmates to work in our community, earn a paycheck, while they're still incarcerated, and it helps them get on the right foot when they get out of jail. We have expanded the work release program since I've taken over as sheriff, and what we have is we have anywhere from 40 to 60 businesses in our community that hire inmates who are in custody. They're non-violent inmates. We don't put violent inmates or who have a violent background back into our community because then nobody would want to and the benefit to the business owners is threefold. One, they get a tax break. Now, they have to pay the inmate the same amount of money that they would anybody else. So if it's a carpenter, they would have to pay the carpenter what they would normally. If it's a plumber, what they would normally pay the plumber. And we have those people with those skills inside our facility. Carpenters, painters, cooks, dishwashers. Whatever they would normally pay, they pay, but they get a break at the end of the day because they're getting a tax break. The other benefit to the business owner is they know that the person's going to show up on time because we're bringing them to them. And they know that they're going to be sober because they know where they stayed the night before. So that's a big deal. It's a win for the business owner. You've got an on-time employee who's sober, and you're not really having to pay a full salary for them, even though you are to get a tax break in the end. And additionally, if the inmate is causing problems on the job site, we'll come and we'll bring them back into our custody. That means they're violating the rules of the program. The benefit to the inmate is they're earning a paycheck. Okay, and that paycheck goes into an account that's specific for the inmate. We just got audited. We get audited every year, so we know that we're doing things right when it comes to those accounts. And what happens with that money is we help them pay their bills that they still have to pay while they're incarcerated, such as their child support payments. We will pay the child support payments out of their money. We'll pay their Virginia power bill out of their money. We pay their court costs and fines, so that when they get out, they're not that much further behind. It's a big deal. I'm surprised more sheriff's offices don't have a robust program like we do. The additional advantage, though, which is the win for the community, is a lot of businesses, because they already see the work ethic of that employee, is they'll hire them when they get out of custody. The big deal is that the business gets an additional tax break because they're hiring somebody that was formerly incarcerated, and we have somebody now that's contributing to the community. So, does that answer your question?
Very completely, thank you.
Okay. Do you have another question?
I just sort of follow as far as, can you relate this to, statistics regarding recidivism?
Yes. All of the programs that when I took over in February, what I mandated for our inmate programs inside the jail and our work release programs is that they be evidence-based, okay? Which means they work. And so all of our programs that we have in place now, the reentry program, the Thinking for Change, our work release program, all these programs help reduce recidivism, help reduce our jail population, including our home electronic monitoring system. And we have, Mike will probably tell me about it, but we have close to 80 inmates that are in the work release program. And our recidivism rate, does anybody know which state has the lowest recidivism rate in the country? Anybody? Virginia. That's something to be proud of. And recidivism means the number of people that are coming back to jail. And the recidivism rate in Virginia, according to the Department of Corrections, is 23%. And we can track that through probation and parole. And when people go through our reentry programs and they go through and they successfully complete like our GED programs and those things, the recidivism rate for the sheriff's office is 23 to 20%. Big deal. That means it's a 77 to 80% success rate of people not coming back into custody. So thank you for that question.
Mr. Sport, you had a comment?
Yes, I would like to comment for that. I'm trying to build lots, and I actually bought 2 houses. when it's court time. But as far as the citizen changing, I think it's actually going on. I see the same faces over and over. And the programs implemented by the sheriff, they could be much better improved. Example, work release. Norfolk jail has a turnover rate that's kind of too long. By the time someone get arrested, go to court, get an opportunity for work release, if they were employed, they've been in there 2-3 weeks and they lose their job. I would definitely implement something. If you come in employed and you are a non-violent offender, I would make sure that you get right in the work release program the next day or, next 2 or 3 days. And that way you can continue your employment, continue to be a positive person in society, continue to pay your child support, continue to pay your bills and other things. One more thing that I would implement is that during the time of incarceration, I would have you looking back towards your driver's license status. 9 out of 10 people get out of jail, they have no driver's license. I don't know the official stats, but I would venture to say at least 50% of the people are in Norfolk City Jail because they didn't have a license. At least 50, half the people are in there for driving related offenses. So.
Everybody, this is Sean Jones.
Hello everyone, so I'm late, so I'm not properly dressed. My name is Sean Jones. I'm running for sheriff as well. I'm a former deputy of the sheriff's department as well from 90 to 2001. This is actually my 4th time running for sheriff. I jumped in the race in 2005 because of the things that I saw that was going on in the sheriff's department at the time. It's hard for me to jump and see where they came in at, but there's a lot of good programs going on, of course. Our job is to come in here, look at the programs that's going on, see what we can do to enhance the programs that's going on there. As they talk about the Civic, like I said, unfortunately the jail is overcrowded. The jail is going to continue to be overcrowded as long as we have people out here committing crimes. We understand that. But the goal is to be there and to try to help someone. And we can't help everyone. We cannot help everyone. I always tell the story that when I was a deputy in the jail, my biggest accomplishment was I sat there and I spoke to an inmate every single day that I was on the shift. He was in for selling drugs. He had a young daughter at that time. I said, look at where you're at right now. You in jail. She was out there. These are the times that you should be there in a relationship, spend time with your daughter. That young man got out. I saw him years later. He came to me and he thanked me for the conversations that I had with him every single day while I was on that floor. I treated him like he was me because there's no difference. One thing that separates me from everyone else is I want to go to work. In my opinion right now, the sheriff is just a position. We see someone on the ballot every 4 years. We must change that. One question that people always ask me, well, what are you going to do different? I say, well, what do you know? I don't know anything. So what can I tell you? I want you to know about the sheriff's department. I want you to know what goes on in the sheriff's department. You can't just vote for this high-ranking position every 4 years. You see somebody come out every 4 years, tell you they've been there for you every 4 years, things they did every 4 years. I want to be the face that the community knows, someone that everyone represents. Thank you. Again, I'm Sean Jones. I'm running for sheriff.
So I saw that you have the management's dealing with inmates, there's money in partnerships.
Yes.
Can you explain that a little bit and whether or not you guys help them transition back into the community?
Great question. Can I have my water right there? Great question. And so the question, in case you guys didn't hear it, was about managing the mentally ill within the sheriff's office. What a lot of people have come to realize, and what we certainly have realized in the correctional world, is that jails have become the repository for the mentally ill because the services or the resources just have not been out there to help the mentally ill in our communities. They're getting better. That's the good news. And the question is, actually are under contract that work for the sheriff's office that are clinical workers, and we have a psychiatrist that comes and helps us manage mentally ill while they're in our custody. But the partnership comes with our relationship with the Community Services Board. The Community Services Board in Norfolk is the one that deals with the mentally ill in our communities. The great thing about Norfolk is we're doing it right. We're managing the mentally ill the way others wish they were managing their mentally ill. Because of our partnership with the Community Services Board, CSB actually gives the Norfolk Sheriff's Office a seat on their board. I think we're the only jail or only sheriff's office that has that. And I know that our neighboring organizations do not have that. But that gives us a voice at the table about what our needs are. So beginning this year, after I took over, we have 2 Community Service Board members that actually work at the jail. Okay? And that's done through grant money, and it's also done through the cooperation of the CSB. Mike O'Toole, who's my chief of staff back here, he's the one that sits on the board for me. And so those CSB workers, what they do is they help manage, what the needs are for the mentally ill inside our facility, so that they know how to help transition them back into the community in a safe and effective way. Because what most jail operations are experiencing is this revolving door as it relates to those who have mental health issues. In fact, I was fortunate enough to get chosen to serve on a commission for the state as it relates to the forensic reentry of the mentally ill from incarceration back into the community. They were all looking at us and how we do business. Norfolk's doing it right. And the forensic reentry talks about this bridge. So when somebody comes into custody and they're in crisis mode and we identify that they have mental health issues, we're doing a whole lot of things to try to manage that, right? One, we train our deputies. We train our deputies in crisis intervention training so that they can identify that person who has a mental health issue or is in a mental health crisis, and that helps them effectively deal with that person and identify the issue, and then we can get them help. 2, we screen all of our inmates within 72 hours to help identify those that have mental health issues that may need to be put on psychotropic medication to get them stabilized. Once they're stabilized, we look at their charges and we work with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office and we work with the mental health courts, and if really they shouldn't be in custody, we're getting them out of custody. And that helps reduce the number of inmates that we have in our custody, which is great, and puts them in the treatment programs, which is really where they belong. If we can't get them out of custody, then we manage them with our clinicians that we have on staff, with our psychiatrists that we have on staff, and with the Community Services Board. The transition, going back into the community, here's the big deal. Guess what? When they're in custody, who's giving them their medication? We are, right? And when they go out of custody, most jails do not take into account that bridge that needs to happen between the time they get out of custody, the time they get in front of their psychiatrist and get prescription for medication, get to the pharmacist, get their medication, they're taking their medication again. So what happens is, because there's that period of time they're off their medication, they get back into crisis mode and get back in custody. The Sheriff's Office, through our contractor, we provide that bridge because we know how long it's going to be because of our partnership with CSB. CSB has already set up, that meeting with their doctor, and that transition is smooth so that people are not getting back into crisis mode and coming back into the sheriff's office. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay, do we have any other questions? Yes, sir.
I guess this is for all the candidates. As sheriff, what would be your most pressing concern moving forward? I know there's a lot of different issues that we talked about, but generally one seems to take the lead initially. What would be your most pressing concern, whether it be an issue that's currently poignant in our community or a current program that you would like to see further?
I'll start. My most important issue would be to bring back honest integrity to the sheriff's office badge. It's the highest appointed position in the city of Norfolk. The sheriff is actually more powerful than the chief of police. He does civil process, and he does criminal. And he also has the jail and the court system, the most powerful officer in the city of Norfolk. And my number one goal would be bring back honest integrity to the badge, and also push it over to the deputies and just make Norfolk Sheriff's Office a much better place.
Number one would be the deputies. I don't know if many of you read the things in the paper about enforcement reform, Sheriff. I was a victim of that. The unfair ways, being forced to work at a pole that I didn't want to work at. I was part of it. I was forced out the same way. So what we're going to do is, we're going to be, although I may be in charge, I let everybody know we're all people. I will be in the jail working just like they're in the jail working. I will come to the jail every single day, make sure that they know, if you don't want to vote for me, that's fine. Right there is a dictatorship. That's exactly what it is. Whether they tell you that or not, it's a dictatorship. Deputies right now are in fear because they don't know what's going to happen. Is Joe going to stay in? Is Joe going to go out? If Joe finds out I didn't support him, is he going to keep me there? I can't say Joe, but that's what happened with the old sheriff. I know that because I was a victim of that. You can't tell me as an adult that I have to vote for you, because that's not what an election is. An election is about you picking and choosing who you want to vote for. And that's what I did. I voiced that, and I was let go. So my number one concern is my deputies, to make sure that they're happy. They know that regardless, they're not going to lose their job at the election, whether you vote for me or not. So that's where I'm going to start with the deputies. Thank you.
My number one concern is also on deputies, but for a different reason. One is we lose deputies to other organizations on a regular basis because our deputies make anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 less a year than our current deputies do. Our deputies work very hard, and by the way, none of these folks ever worked while I've been there, so some of the things they're saying I'm a little discouraged to hear, but you talk to the deputies, I guarantee you they're not going to say those kind of things are going on anymore, if they were going on at all. But you got to value your employees. You need to keep your employees with the sheriff's office that have the knowledge base to continue to do what they're doing. We lose our deputies to Chesapeake Sheriff's Office, Chesapeake Police Department, Virginia Beach Sheriff's Office, Virginia Beach Police Department, and the Norfolk Police Department, because we do not have a competitive wage. If you go to my website, you'll see that a competitive wage for our employees is one of my top issues. It's the top issue, because we're always in training mode. But we're doing a good job at training our employees. Every single year, the Department of Corrections comes in to do an inspection, and they'll go around and they'll ask our employees, okay, how many times do you have to feed an inmate today? How many of those meals have to be hot? Where are they, what are you going to do if the power goes out? Life, health, safety concerns. And they have to answer those questions correctly in order for us to get 100% every year. And we get 100% every year. We're doing a good job of training our folks. We just need to keep them there. When we have people that are there for 15, 16 years, they're not going anywhere. And the city recognizes that. The beautiful thing is this, is I have the support and the backing of the city council. I have the endorsement of the mayor. I have the endorsement of like Andrew McKellen, Martin Thomas Jr., Tommy Steele. Those relationships are important so that I can push through the needs of the sheriff's office. And the biggest need right now is to take care of our deputies' pay. And the city, the assistant city manager, Mike Goldsmith, used to be chief of police. He and I worked together on the police department. In fact, Larry Boone, Mike Goldsmith, and I all worked together in internal affairs, so we all knew each other very well. Okay? And that relationship is helping me get our message through that we need help as it relates to the number of deputies that we lose every year. Doug Smith, our new city manager, he's heard our concerns, and they are committed to getting us to that point of having a competitive wage within 3 to 4 years. And that's a big deal. We're already currently working on it. We've already done the study for them. We've done the hard work of collecting the data, and we're presenting that to the city, and then we'll present it to the city council with the hopes that they'll help us keep our good people, because we lose some very good people. They don't want to leave, but they got to feed their families, you know. They love the Norfolk Sheriff's Office because they feel like it's family there. And one of the things that I do to help keep them there is I go around and I show our employees value. I do it on a regular basis. It used to be that if you have got your 5-year certificate or your 10-year certificate or your 15-year certificate, you would get it in interdepartmental mail. When I found out about that a year ago, I said, wait a minute, that's no way to value our employees. And then I started getting the certificates brought to me, and then I would go out and I would personally deliver them to them, and I would thank them for their service on the sheriff's office. I think that's a big deal. People appreciate that. And the buzz is going around in the sheriff's office on how they're feeling valued now when they didn't feel like they were feeling valued before. And that's big towards keeping people with the sheriff's office, because now they're thinking. You know, because sometimes we get them, they go to Virginia Beach, they're getting $10,000 per year, but they come back because they like the way they were treated in Norfolk. You know, they like that. So they come back. The other thing that I did was we have 144 veterans that work in the sheriff's office, right? So I know that people wear their uniform proudly and they like to show their own value. And I created a new ribbon. You see the ribbon that's here on my chest? It looks like an American flag. I created that ribbon to show value to our veterans. And every veteran in our organization, I gave a certificate to, and I gave a ribbon to show appreciation for their service to our country. Little things like that go a long way, and that's what my biggest concern is.
All right, do we have any other questions? All right, thank you very much.
Question for everybody. And this is a question to Joe. Like I said, this is my 4th time running. His former boss said the same thing. We're working to get the deputies more money. How many years? That's been since 2005 that they've been saying they're working to get the deputies more money. It's 2017. How many years is it going to take to get deputies money? Because McCabe said it, now you're saying it. Joe came in with rank. Is that fair? There's a process, just like the military. You come in, you talk about being fair and open to the deputies. How many of us have been on a job where we deserve the promotion, but yet they bring somebody in from outside because they know them? That's what we got to get rid of. So I'm with him on getting the deputies more money. They need more money. But since 2005, they've been saying the same thing. We're going to get deputies money. When? That's all I want to know. When are you going to get deputies money? You're following the same thing the last sheriff said. I'm going to get deputies money. Again, 2005. It's 2017.
Thank you very much. We'll move on now to our candidates for treasurer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thanks, people, for having me.
Thank you.
How you doing, John?
And we're going to do the same format as before.
and allowing me the opportunity to speak to your community. I wanted to take some time this evening to formally introduce myself to those of you who don't know me and to just give you a little bit more information. I lived in Virginia for the last 17 years, of which 14 I've lived in the city of Norfolk, and I love this city. I'm an advocate for the taxpayer and for the working class constituent. Like many of you, I've worn many hats for the last few years, but I've always made it a priority to stay actively involved in the community. I have never been shy to admitting that I am new to politics. Unlike my fellow candidates, I do not have a long history in government, and my professional background isn't as seasoned. However, what I do have is a strong and sincere desire to cultivate change in the city. After all, I think that we can agree that there is some change that needs to go on in Norfolk. JFK once said, efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. I am stepping up to the plate as a working class citizen with new ideas, and I desire to spearhead that change. I am excited and eager to bring ethics and integrity back to the public office. It is my hope that in my role as city treasurer, I can be an advocate for the community, bridging the gap between the older and younger generations, seasoned politicians, and political novices, all while safeguarding the city's revenue. We need more programs that address back taxes for all citizens. We need more self-implementing systems that can alleviate the burdens for the seniors when it comes time to pay tax. We should implement tax return programs that will help collect money accurately and make it easier for the taxpayer. It's time to hold our local government more accountable and involve our community in the decisions that directly affect them, and not just during election time for the purposes of votes, but for the well-being of our city, our children, and our legacy. We cannot continue to accept the same results by the same people. We need change and people who are not afraid to speak up and do so. And so I humbly ask you all to vote Sanders for Norfolk City Treasurer on November 7th. Thank you.
First of all, I want to say thank you for inviting me out today. And I'm sorry I was running a little late. I didn't get a chance to meet any of you folks yet. I hope that you are able to stay a few minutes afterwards so I can meet with you personally. My name is Michael Bogue. I am running for treasurer. I'm going to give you a little bit of my background. I'm from Arizona. I was born in Brooklyn, Flagstaff, joined the Navy, and then I really haven't been back to Arizona since. That was many years ago, and then my wife Sharon and we moved to Norfolk. Well, we actually were in Virginia Beach initially, but we were stationed locally. We were renting in Virginia Beach and discovered that we actually liked Norfolk better than Virginia Beach, and we decided to buy in Norfolk, and here we are 4 years later after making that decision. We love Norfolk. We decided to call it our home when I retired here a couple years ago. We have 4 kids, and they are growing fast, and unfortunately they couldn't be here tonight. My 26 years in the Navy has made me uniquely qualified to be the treasurer. Over the course of my career, I've managed hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars. I think that's important. Having the financial management experience that you expect a treasurer to have. I also have the leadership skills that I've developed over my years in the Navy. I've been a commanding officer. Having held command, I've been ultimately responsible for everything that's happened in that command, and of course, managed the money that I had at that command as well. And then I've also, of course, been a budget officer. That was my last tour in the Navy, was as a budget officer. We managed over $750 million of operational money for the Navy Reserve. Those leadership skills that I developed, I think, are important. In a job like this, I think you need real leadership and not just somebody who can push paper. I also want to talk a little bit about some of the things that you've heard discussed tonight so far. Some of the other candidates touched on it. So did Nicole. And that is, we have a problem here in Norfolk with a lot of our status quo politicians. That's all right. We, of course, all of us are very familiar with the Anthony Burfoot situation. That was really what got me interested in this particular position. And I followed that case. And then, of course, when he was finally found guilty, shortly after that is when I actually jumped in the race. But in the 4 years that I've lived just in Norfolk, I have discovered what, again, some other people have mentioned, and that is we seem to have a problem with Norfolk politics. And a lot of the status quo politicians that have been here for far too long. And I think that is, again, one of the reasons that I'm running is we have to cut ties with the status quo politicians, restore integrity to the office, and again, integrity and accountability get returned to this office in particular. I think that's important. I hope that you do too. So I ask for your vote November 7th. Vote for Michael Vogt for City Treasurer. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dawn Tester, your candidate for Treasurer in the City of Norfolk. I too want to thank you for the opportunity to come and just share a little bit about who I am, my background, and some of the things that I'd like to do in the office. I have lived here all of my life and have been a part of making a difference in the City of Norfolk for a very long time. I guess I would say since I became an adult in 1978, when I was an adult student, but when I first started teaching, I'm an educator by profession, and started teaching in Norfolk Public Schools. I served there for 22 years, and from there I got my master's degree from George Washington University and began to work in administration. And it was back in 1978 when I graduated from Virginia State University that I decided that I wanted to come home and make a difference in my community. You have an option when you get in college where you can go start your career. I had an opportunity to travel enough in college and said, well, make a difference at home. Every city has issues. Come home and make a difference. And so it wasn't until 1996 that I won a seat on the City Council in Norfolk. So I'm not a part of the connected, so to speak. Wasn't at that time, because I ran twice and lost before I won. But I was determined to win. And I just want you to know that my determination has gotten me to where I am today, to serving you as your delegate in the 89th House District. And I was asked to do that position. And so Yvonne and I tussled it out. But we did, but we continue to work together. And I think that that's important for people to do, because we won't always agree, but we always know that we're trying to do what's best for the city of Norfolk. And that is what I've always tried to do and done. And serving 14 years on the city council, 4 little years as vice mayor, and then these past 5 years as a state delegate. In both of those positions, of course, we have to set a budget for the city. The tax dollars that you submit to us, businesses submit to us, are what we use in order for our city council to make a decision about the things that we're able to do and how we're able to do those things. So it's taxpayer dollars, our dollars, that help to set the budget. And the council and the city manager work through that process to establish a budget for the city. That's how much money comes into our communities for our roads and our places. I also serve, just in myself, I was asked to serve on appropriations because of my experiences at the council level. Our chairman, Christian, asked me to serve on appropriations, and that's my second year. It was a shock not only to me, but to my colleagues as well. But it was also an honor because we set the budget for the state. So I'm quite confident in setting budgets, handling budgets, reviewing dollars as they're coming in, assessing them, and making sure that we have what we need. And we haven't had what we needed. Since 2008, we've been building up and trying to make a difference. Even in the city, we've only begun to see incremental increases in the income that we're bringing into the city. The highest over the past 3 years was just like 2.4%. But the role of the treasurer is to collect all of the dollars. The largest part of that is from our real estate taxes and our personal property taxes, business taxes. We also submit state tax. So we send that out, it comes to us, and we have to remit it in a quick period of time back to the state. So there are processes that are in place that we have to cover. We also invest the city dollars. And so we have to make sure that we know how to invest those dollars, and that's done in collaboration with the city as well. But there are just a few things that I'd like to do because I think my time is getting close, and hopefully you'll ask me some questions, but I want to get a couple things in first. One is that when I'm elected, and I want your support, and I want your vote, you will make your check payable to the city of Norfolk Treasury, not to the treasurer, because it is our money that we're collecting. It's not the treasurer's money. And so it helps us too to understand that it's an investment that we're making in our city and for our citizens and for the things that we want that will make a difference for us. And so I look forward to answering more questions, and thank you again for the opportunity.
Okay, we'll open the floor to questions, and again, you can direct the question to a specific candidate or all three. First question. Yes, ma'am.
I got 2 parts. One, Ms. Sanders, I'm sorry, but I don't know if I missed it. What is your background?
Computer information system.
Okay, and maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I can't pull up your website. So, okay, all right. And my question would be to Delegate Hester. What are some of the changes that you want to see in the treasurer's office that you didn't get a chance to tell us about?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, some of the things that I'd like to do. One is, we only have one office. We don't have a satellite office in the city. Some people say that's because, we're not very large. But we also know the city hall is really not accessible. And so I would like to have another satellite location, a small one at least, maybe not open 24/7, but somewhere else for people to go to make those payments. So I would like to discuss that and see how we can do that. Because another part of the role of the treasurer is to figure out how not to spend all the money, because you want to be able to give those dollars back to the city. So I want to look at efficiencies as well. So, right now, I had a chance to go to observe the auction process and down at scope. And what I learned, I learned a lot. I can't tell it all to you now, but I learned a lot. That night, we received between $25,000 to $30,000 because you can't bid on property if you haven't paid your taxes. Well, in my mind, I said, why don't you just pay your taxes? But I said, so I'm watching and observing this process. But then also what I observed is that there are there are business people who rent homes. And they collect those dollars. But then they're not paying their taxes. And some of them aren't even paying their mortgage. So, you know, that's one thing. I'm gonna look at all of the contracts that we have. I'd like for us to do in-house mailing, because right now we contract that out. It's an upfront cost, but I think it will be one thing that will save us money over time because of all that we mail out. So those are just a few of the things. Thanks for the question.
Any other questions?
Ms. Lee?
Yes, ma'am. You mentioned about City Hall not being accessible. And my concern is when I have to go to City Hall or go to the new court buildings, there's very limited parking at the City Hall. I'm handicapped, I have handicap plates. You can rarely find a place to park, and there is no access anywhere unless you ride the tide to the new court building. What is the city gonna do to address that issue? And I don't understand quite why they would build a building like that with no access.
Stephanie?
Yes, I'm directing to Ms. Custer.
I'd love to answer it because I've always said what I said when I was a council member, that we needed to move City Hall from downtown to make it accessible for others so that we would have parking. I'm agreeing with you. But one of the things that has been done, in case you didn't know, is that out front now in the circle, that's, I think, all but 2 spaces are handicap spaces now. It wasn't that way before. So now the treasurer and the commissioner of revenue, we have to park over there too, because they took those spaces from us. So, but it provides, I think, 3 or 4 additional spaces. But no, it's not enough. And that's why, you know, I want us to be able to, right now, you're able to pay online. There is, if you use a credit card, 2.5% fee. That fee is pretty much similar to other cities, because I've talked with Barbara and Jimmy about, you know, their operations and how they operate. And so that is, but I still want to figure out a way to be able to have people pay more online. You know, many of our young people don't have, you know, checks. But anyway, I'm trying to figure out ways to make it more.
I have inquired about the parking there with the staff and the employees, and there's the area where the old city hall was.
Ms. Hester, if I could just interrupt, I think we want to, that's really a city council question, not something very much.
I was trying to be helpful.
I'm President.
Are there any other questions?
Yes.
Being that the city treasurer is a political position where it has to be voted upon, do you feel that politics play any part in the role of the city treasurer when it comes to taxes and fees that the city council wants to vote upon the citizens of Brooklyn? All three, and we have some quick yes or no.
Can you repeat it?
Yeah, the question. Yeah, I was saying that obviously the city treasurer is a position that's being voted upon by the citizens of Norfolk. Do you believe that as a city, as a treasurer, you should have the input upon how taxes or fees are laid upon citizens to the council to give advice or to give information, or is that not the role of the city treasurer? And this is a question for all three.
Go ahead. I understand.
Just so I understand your question correctly, you're asking if the city treasurer should have input on taxes raised? And I think that once you do that, you start getting outside the realm of what a treasurer should be doing. That's the good thing about the position. It's a nonpartisan position. Shouldn't be getting involved in politics too much. And that's really what you end up doing when you start talking about raising taxes. Even though it's just fees, it's still a tax, right? And I think that starts a slippery slope that you really don't want your treasurer to go down. So I would say no, I don't think the treasurer should be involved in actually, I mean, maybe, you know, if city council wanted to ask my advice, I'm more than happy to give advice to city council. But whether or not they take it, I don't think it's something that a treasurer should really be involved in too much, myself.
I'm in agreement with that as well. I think that we should truly be neutral. We should be collecting money. We can make suggestions, and at that point, it is a city council position.
And yes, the council should set the rate, realizing that one cent brings you $1.79 million. It was a discussion that they had and are looking at, but the council should set the rate, but I do think that there has to be the collaboration, not on the rates, but on ordinances that might need to be put in place for how we collect, the ways we collect, all those types of things. So, because that legislation does come, some of it comes from the council, some of it comes from the state. And so the relationships that I have, and you know, we can have those discussions to determine the best way to write the law locally or at the state level. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. I don't know if any of you know, has the number of employees in the Treasury Department gone down over the years? Because in the information age and automation and all that, collection taxes should become more efficient over the years. I just wonder if anyone knows whether the number of employees has gone down over the years or not.
Is there someone specifically or?
All three, does anyone know?
Well, the 31 currently in the office, and I think it's been that way the last 3 or 4 years, and that's how far I look back at employees. There was a reduction in the Commissioner of Revenue's office, and so even though things are more efficient with systems and the accounting portion, the part that plays the major piece is the interactions with people who come around to pay those bills and the collection piece. I think 31 is enough for the office. The budget for the office is 2.4 million. You know, so the treasurer's office is the smallest of all the constitutional offices, but that's about where we are.
I heard just about everything she said except the one thing. I disagree with the size. I actually would increase the size, particularly of the collections department. I think that if we increase the collections department by about 3 or 4 people, we would actually see a revenue gain of about $5 million. And I've had that discussion with the chief deputy. And she said when she increased the number of personnel in her collections department, she saw an increase of about $7 million in back taxes she was able to collect. And we kind of figured out a number. It would be about $5 million conservatively, I believe. So I would increase it by a few people, actually.
Due to time, that's fine.
No, you go ahead.
I don't have a response for that.
Okay, just for clarity, I mean, I understand the city treasurer is a taxpayer. I know, I'm getting ready to write a check to the city. So what's the difference between the city treasurer and the commissioner of the revenue?
That's all three or someone specific?
Whoever does. I mean, the treasurer is a tax collector, correct?
And the commissioner assesses.
And the commissioner what?
The commissioner does the assessment. So, he assesses the properties. Right, the properties, the machinery, the tools, and all those things. And then he provides that information to the treasurer, who then creates the statement that is submitted to everybody for collection.
Okay, thank you.
The real question I would say is, can that be the same person?
Could be in the same office.
Some cities, the duties are not split. I've had a lot of folks talk to me be about why we split that function. Many years ago, they split that function. And that's a radical. But
That keeps you from being the bad guy.
You just elected.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am. What investments does the treasurer do compared to the finance department? For everybody's investment. How are you going to deposit the money? I know you deposit the money, but you were saying that you invest the money. I thought that was done by the city auditor's office or the finance department. And you collect the money and do that.
Since I said that, I respond first, anyway, rather than respond. The investment portion is done in collaboration with the finance and the city manager's office. And it's not a large amount of money, but there are dollars that come in that move in and flow, and we try to build up those dollars. So it's a collaborative piece. Determining the bank, even that's a collaborative piece, but that goes out for bid as well. And I'll be doing that too. We're getting the best. Because right now, when you use your credit card, the banks charge an additional fee. You know, we already talking about 2.5 that goes to the company that runs the system for us, but then the banks put an additional fee on that. So it makes it, you know, like so you don't want to pay it that way. But
yeah, there's really nothing else to add to that. That's pretty much the function between the two departments.
Any other questions? No? Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
And remember, everybody, we go to November 7th.
Thanks a lot, Joe.
All right, we're going to do real quick because we need to stop very late. Treasurer's report.
There's some handouts on the table, but basically we start off with $11,626. We have revenue of $280.17. Small month for expenses, $316, and a balance with including the monies in the CD, total cost of total assets of $16,820. Any questions?
Let's see, do you have anything? Mr. Secretary, I assume the minutes are in the back of the...
Minutes are in the back of the current newsletter, and if you have not gotten that, we'd like to know about it. Otherwise, it's also online on our website. If you didn't receive a copy, you'd like to get a copy now. It's on
we accept the minutes.
Second. All in favor? Minutes are accepted. Let's see, is anybody here from crime prevention? Yes, sir. What do we have a report this month?
We've had a bunch of bad break-ins. A bunch of cars got vandalized, windows got smashed, stuff got stolen. One of my friends, they took a rock from her yard and smashed it with another friend who lives across the street from their window. Looking at trying to maybe test out some game cameras that I have, see if maybe we can get some better footage to provide Officer White. But as he was saying, the best thing that anybody can do, call it in. Even if your car's been broken into 3 times, you know they're not going to do anything, call it in. If they get enough people reporting, they can send out the forensics team to actually do the fingerprints.
Thanks. Neighborhood quality.
Nothing but may I speak to the socks?
You may speak to the socks.
You may have noticed this basket that we have up here, the Roper Home. We've had this in the newsletter and we put it online as well. But the Roper Home is collecting socks that they plan to distribute later this year to the homeless. incredibly worthwhile effort. One of the biggest problems the homeless have is that their feet get wet, they get cold. If your feet are wet, as you know, you really get cold quick. And this is just a small step that we can all do to kind of help those folks out. And Roper Home is acting as the collection point. We're trying to collect some here. If you didn't get a chance to bring them, we're going to do this again at our next meeting, so you'll have another shot. But then this is going to go through October 27th. And if you don't know where the Roper Home is, it's over in Riverview, and they will accept them there. So if you can't come to the Civic League meeting and bring them, you can call one of these people on the back of your newsletter and we'll come by and get them from you. Or you can just take them over to the Roper Home directly. But do think about it for next time. If you didn't bring any, we'll have the basket again. And thank you to all of you who gave socks.
New socks.
New socks.
And the preference is white.
New white socks. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's see, membership committee is not here. He went to flight with Irma.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll be back. Environmental's not here. Dog park. Dog park. Welcome committee.
I was going to say, nice, right? We got the dog park out in Compass last week.
Very nice.
Yeah, very good.
Welcome committee, yeah. Actually, there's going to be an article in the next newsletter about the welcome committee. And those of you who are here because you obviously lived in the neighborhood a while, so you know it civically. But I'm encouraging people, if you know somebody that's moved into the neighborhood, whether they're a renter or a buyer, to contact me through the website, because we want to start reaching out to people and saying, welcome to the neighborhood. I've lived here since 1990 off and on. And so we're developing a bag, and they will get a sticker, stickers, and stuff like that. So, we want to welcome people because, Colonial Riverview is the greatest neighborhood to live in Norfolk. So, let's let them know that they've moved into the best neighborhood.
Thank you. Let's see, old business. We had the ice cream social in August, and those of you who weren't able to make it, you missed a really good time. We had ice cream, and Ann was out serving fresh watermelon on the front porch, and the sweet ladies who live at the Roper Home, they could not have had a better time. And let me tell you, they really like the toppings on their ice cream. At our October meeting, we will be having the candidates for the 89th District of the House of Delegates. So both are confirmed, so please make an effort to come to that meeting as well. October 10th, I believe, is that Riverview Village?
It's the crazy day.
Yeah.
Art walk.
It's the 8th.
Is it?
The 8th.
The 8th.
I guess first or second Saturday.
Yeah, there's going to be the 1 mile race, the dedication of the archway or sign into the Riverview Business District. October the 8th. There will also be the Colonial Place Riverview Front Porch Art Walks, which I believe this is their 20th year. 19th or 20th? But if you haven't taken part and done the art walk, it's a great time. It really is. Let's see. I do not have anything else. Do you guys? Thank you all very, very much for coming, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you.